On April 2, 2026, Attorney General Pam Bondi was abruptly fired, leaving the nation's top law enforcement agency in a state of sudden turmoil. Her removal followed a public fallout over the Justice Department's handling of 3 million pages of records related to the investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. Replacing her as acting Attorney General is Todd Blanche. He moves into the role after years of representing Donald Trump in private practice, leading the defense in both the New York hush money trial and the federal classified documents case. Since Watergate, the Justice Department has maintained a formal distance from the White House to protect the impartiality of its work. Installing the president's personal lawyer as the acting Attorney General ends that separation. To understand how Blanche reached the top of the department, we have to look back to the start of this 3-year cycle, on April 2, 2023. On that day, Blanche resigned his partnership at an elite law firm to lead Donald Trump's defense against a 34-count felony indictment in Manhattan. He built a defense centered on a specific claim that the justice system itself had been weaponized as a political tool. Exactly 1 year later, on April 2, 2024, Blanche applied that same philosophy to the federal classified documents case, filing a series of challenges that focused on procedural friction. These strategies stalled the federal trials long enough to push them past the 2024 election, effectively removing the legal threat to the incoming administration before it took office. The tactics that delayed the trials established Blanche's value to the president, proving he was willing to challenge the department's core authorities from the outside. By April 2, 2025, the transition was complete. Trump was back in the Oval Office, and the Senate had confirmed Todd Blanche as Deputy Attorney General. While Pam Bondi absorbed the public scrutiny as Attorney General, Blanche managed the department's daily operations, executing an aggressive administrative overhaul. At a conservative conference in Dallas, he boasted that the department had cleaned house, removing over 200 FBI agents and DOJ staffers associated with previous investigations into the president. He dismissed the staff of Special Counsel Jack Smith and gutted the department's elite unit responsible for prosecuting public corruption. Within months, the department's resources shifted toward opening investigations into the president's perceived rivals, including former FBI Director James Comey. The department's enforcement priority was no longer the protection of its own investigative independence, but the pursuit of the administration's political opposition. On April 2, 2026, the final phase of this transition began when Bondi was forced out, and Blanche took full command of the Justice Department. He immediately extended this authority to the private sector, warning defense attorneys that the department notices when they criticize the administration's white-collar enforcement efforts. Blanche is the architect of a doctrine that collapses the department's branches into a single line of command. He told staff, "If you work in the executive branch, you work for me." This bypasses traditional judicial oversight, concentrating legal authority directly under the presidency. The Office of the Attorney General now functions with the same singular focus as a private defense firm, prioritizing the legal interests of the president over the department's historical autonomy. On April 2, 2026, the transformation is complete. The attorney who once defended the president